What's on your mind today, David?
This morning, Robert and I were discussing the footage that exists of the final incarnation of King Crimson. After 2016, we filmed all the shows, so all these shows filmed. And in considering what we might do with those, I found myself revisiting the aims and vision of BootlegTV, which was a company that we founded in 2000. I don't know how many people are familiar with this, but it was, in part, another way of trying to address how music might reach its audience without the clutches of the music industry sitting in the middle. And the vision was in two parts. The first part, which was just about possible in 2000, was that we would address all the illegal bootleg recordings of bands that were out there, and we would make these available legitimately so that fans could get them legitimately, and if they were willing to pay money, the band would get the money. The second part of the vision is what still fascinates me because it still hasn't happened, which was that we said at the time, sooner or later, people will be able to watch and stream live videos on the internet. We were way too far ahead of our time. This was in 2000. And as a point of reference, YouTube didn't start till 2005-06. So we were actually 6 years ahead in what we wanted to do. But we were right with the idea. We said, this will be possible. But most importantly, once you can do that, the reason it was called BootlegTV was that you will be able to watch the process of live performance as opposed to the product. So in effect, right now, what we tend to have is product. You can have an album, you can have a live album, you can have a live DVD, but they're all artifacts that have been created after the event. Somebody has gone away and polished them and created an artifact, as opposed to the fact that I can go online right now and, what's happening at the Ramshead tonight? Oh, these two people are talking. I'll watch that. Or King Crimson, they're playing here. I'll watch that. Raw and the process as it unfolds, which is completely different. And at the time I kept saying, isn't it mad if I switch on the television, I can find 10, 15, 20 channels carrying live sport? There seem to be ever more every time I try. And unless there is a music festival on, I don't think you will find one carrying live music actually as it is. Still, it still hasn't happened. And the other half is that when you do, it's been translated by a director. I was struck by Robert's view of a multiplicity of live performances, because in general, when you do watch a live performance on we do still have our own personal version of it, but we're all being led to have the same one because the director has decided, well, we'll look at him now. Oh, and now I'd like you to focus on him, and now I'd like you to focus over there. The director is actually leading us all, as opposed to, returning to the conversation that Robert and I had in the bus this morning, the notion of, why don't we just put up the wide shot? Why don't we just leave it? It's simple. That would make it affordable, so that then you really could stream from the live Ramshead tonight, because you don't need a camera crew of a lot of people jumping around. You just need one camera. Here we are. And when you choose to watch King Crimson during Gavin's drum solo, instead of watching Gavin, you could watch Robert watching Gavin's solo, which is as much part of what is going on as Gavin's solo. Before we continue, I have something incredibly important to share with you. Probably the most important thing I'll say all evening, which was while I was watching that, I saw how we should deliver the King Crimson archives to you, how we remove the director's eye from films, and how you can, to some degree, create your own experience of performance. If you imagine the same screen you just watched, and there is the large picture at the bottom, and along the bottom, you have all the other camera angles, So you have we usually have about 7 camera angles of any King Crimson show. You're watching one of them and the other 6 are across the bottom and you're streaming it. We give you that screen, and if you want to watch Robert for the entire evening, you push on that one and Robert becomes the big one. I saw that, I think, at 8:25 this evening. So if next year you're doing that, this is when I had the idea.
David has had a point of seeing.